The build up to COP15, we need to be ready and prepared in terms of understanding the state of our wetlands so that we are better placed to have serious conversations with the local community and the international community with respect to the role and functions of our wetlands.
Director of Haka Game Park, although we trade under the company name Haka Camp Private Limited. We're a private company that has been leasing the Cleveland Dam catchment area for the last 30 odd years from the city of Harare. Basically, the Cleveland Dam catchment area encompasses about 2,000 hectares, bordering Arcturus Road, Harare Drive, Mutari Road and Donnybrook Drive. It is the headwaters of the Mukwisi River. So the Mukwisi River starts from the flow of the dam. When the dam spills, that's the beginning of Mukwisi River, which of course is a vital water source feeding into Hunyani and ultimately into Chivero. We have three rivers that we have named called Mandresa River, Donnybrook River and Mavuku River. Those are the three tributaries that feed into Cleveland Dam. And basically we have encountered some challenges along the way. Being so close to town is an advantage, being close to the market, but at the same time we are close to the poachers as well. So we've lost quite a bit of game over the years, and we're trying by all means to try and overcome those challenges as time goes on. There is a serious threat of sand poaching going on the eastern boundary, which I believe there is a visit to go and look at as time goes on, after we have completed this. So please welcome, and I trust that we are now one family looking at one cause of how to preserve this wetland. Cleveland Dam happens to be one of the better protected wetlands because we have actually electrified the fence, and we are trying by all means to have this showcased and talked about in such a way that it's unique. Any city with a population of about 3 million or 4 million if you include Chitungwiza, and having a wetland with pristine woodlots within the city limits should be considered in the Guinness Book of Records, because every other city with a population of more than 4 million, one would have to go hours out of town to experience this kind of thing.
Here at Cleveland, where we are, first we've got this grassland, and then we've got the dam that is down there. So the wetland is not just the water that we're seeing on the surface. This grassland that we're looking at is actually part of that wetland ecosystem. So during the rainy season, when it's raining, these grasses act like a sponge. So it's absorbing all the water that is raining, and then it's storing it underground. And then in the dry season, it then slowly releases it into our rivers and streams. So most people, when they look at these grasses, they don't think that it's a wetland because they are not seeing the water on the surface. But in fact, this is where all the wetland starts. These are the wetlands that then feed into our rivers and streams. If we look at Lake Chivero and Lake Manyame, they get the water from Manyame River, Mukwisi, and those rivers, they get this water from the wetlands. So these grasslands are an important part of the wetland ecosystem. And if we were to be asked, where does the wetland start? From here, where the woodland ends and where this grassland starts, this is where the wetlands then starts, and then this is where we get our water. So looking at all these grasses, this is a biodiversity that then purifies the water so that we get the clean water.
This is Monaville Flare, as you have read, one of the 7 Ramsar sites that we have in Zimbabwe, and 3 of them in Harare. So the core area covers about 34 hectares, the core area, which is really conserved and protected, as you can see. No buildings, no dumping, anything. It's almost in its pristine state. Then the whole Ramsar site, which stretches up to beyond Sherwood Drive, Westminster and Bishop Gaudet and Kirkman, it covers 509 hectares in total. So this is the core area. So the community, I think more than 2 decades ago, the community felt that they should take ownership or management of their immediate ecosystem because of a little bird, a very special one. I would kindly invite you when conditions are ideal, I think in January, where you will see the specials. We've got a very small bird which is called the striped crake. My organization, which is Cosmo, represents that bird because it loves these short grasses on these wetlands. Very special. So it actually told us, indicated, birds are good indicators of the healthy nature of any ecosystem. So for the community, that was the indicator. So they came together, then they started to conserve this wetland. Together we've been working with government, City of Harare, and other interested stakeholders. We thank them very much. We have been sojourning on together. So right here we've got on our list, together with adjacent hill, they've got about 263 bird species in all, including the migrants as well. And this place is actually known internationally for its birds as well. It is a wetland, we get water. So one of the more pristine wetlands that we have in Harare. It's well protected, as you can see around here. Earlier when I was speaking to a couple of people, they're asking, do you have mammals here? Of course we do have mammals. We've got bush pig in Shona Ngurungunda, the larger one, not in G. Yes. We've got not Kasong. We've got a couple of them around here, about 7, 8 of them. We've got jackals. They usually breed every year around August. We've got daika. We've got scrabby tutsur. And we've got wovo. We've got also, which other mammals do we get? We've got sevo, kanzuds. Those are some of the mammals that you get around here. So one of our major strengths that we have around here, we invite school kids, both primary, secondary and tertiary students. They come here, they learn about the importance and value of wetlands and what they provide. Free wetland ecosystem services that are provided. So this is a perfect example of one headwater wetland ecosystem that we have in Harare, which is well managed by the community with the support of government and the local council. So this is one of your play. So feel free to ask me anything that you want to ask before I hand over to Rob. Yes, sir?
Do you have any animal called the land baron?
That's a good question. Within the greater Ramsar site, of course, we do have them. Actually, the portion that we are actually standing, those are one of our issues. I think we raised them, I think, the past week, of private ownership. Partly, part of this wetland is privately owned, and they've been managing it on behalf of the person. So back then, I don't want to talk much about it. It was under threat. We are actually standing. They wanted to build 121 or the odd cluster houses, but we managed to deal with that. But otherwise, beyond this place, of course, there are pockets that we are actually finding where there's that real threat of development within the Ramsar, the whole Ramsar site. We've got that. In fact, beyond, as you go corner Cakeman and Sherwood there, it's actually fence. Probably some of you have been driving around. A fence has been put up, and we don't know exactly what's happening, but you are dealing with it. It's well within the Ramsar site. It's still a very pristine wetland as well. So those are some of the threats. Yeah, we do find it, but not on the core area at the moment, but beyond. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Is it Brian?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for the presentation. I want to ask you on waterbeds.
Yes.
You said you have migrants as well here.
Yes.
Okay, which ones, and do they come here for nesting or for other purposes?
Right.
And do you record them?
Oh yes, we record them. That is actually my job on a daily basis. I record them. Actually, birds, they come naturally to me. When I'm sleeping, even if a bird calls, I know it is this bed. That's how crazy I am in it. Right. So yeah, we've got migrants that do come around here. During migrants, they normally come around end of September, October, much of them. Then throughout the rainy season, and they leave, most of them, they leave in April. The late ones in May. I think in April they would have sorted their visas on their way back. So we've got intra-Africa migrants as well as biotic migrants that come from Europe and beyond. And the ones that move north of Africa, they come down here. So some of them, they breed within the grasses. Then, as of now, I think most of the migrants have left. So we've got the resident bird species like your doves, chigwenure, stuff like that. We've got them.
Many things.
Yes, many things. There are a lot of bird species around. Not only around here, even in Zimbabwe, because I think in Zimbabwe we've got about, 676 bird species in Zimbabwe.
We have been dealing with invasion and interference for a couple of years now, starting from, I think it was September 2023, when we stopped bulldozers and graders carving a road into that very small part of the wetland. And that was stopped, and subsequently a few months later people started digging for house foundations, and bricks were brought in, and we called the police and they stopped that, and nothing happened for a while until a few weeks ago when we saw activity again, and again we called the police and they stopped it.
As we officially launch, it's the media launch for COP15, as we build towards the Ramsar Convention in Victoria Falls. We visited today the 3 Ramsar sites that are in Harare, Monaville, Cleveland Dam, and now we are at Lake Chivero. The other sites nationally, we have Manapus, we have Chinoi Caves, we have Driefontein, and the 7th one is Victoria Falls, where we are going to have the convention. The whole idea of us coming here, visiting these sites, we are going to be visiting the other sites during the build up to Victoria Falls. The whole idea being that we want to get a feel of the state and health of our wetlands prior to going to Victoria Falls. Legislatively, we are also interrogating as we visit and see the state and health of these wetlands. We are interrogating legislation that we have at the moment via the Environmental Management Act, the policies, the provisions. We are interrogating all that to see whether they are fit for purpose given the challenges that we have with respect to climate change impacts, and the policies that we have with respect to mitigation and adaptation. There has to be convergence in that respect, so that we adapt and adopt even the new technologies that we bring in. They must also be consistent with the adaptation that we introduce. Very important for communities as well to play their part. We amplify their voices. They need to participate. Where we are saying wetlands play a critical role in terms of providing food, in terms of regulating our water systems. They also play a cultural role in certain jurisdictions. So our indigenous knowledge systems, our village wisdom, our village science must also come in, and that will take the participation and active role of local communities. So yeah, as a committee, we're excited to be part of this process as we try to amplify the voice of the people across the length and breadth of Zimbabwe. And at the end of it all, what we want to do is seize the moment. This is a massive opportunity for Zimbabwe to tell their own story. We need to tell our own story. Project brand Zimbabwe correctly as we tell our own story as Zimbabweans, because the temptation and the tendency of the international media is to tell a different story, a negative story about Zimbabwe. So we are going to seize this moment as Parliament and all the partners that are participating in this process to tell the correct Zimbabwean story, build our own narrative.